live on DickRadio.com. We're still trying to hustle people in to come into Free Beer Friday.
There you go, beer. Let's go.
And we got this awesome guy with this awesome beard in here.
Yeah, we need to get that beard on. Nice. Oh, that's so. I aspire to that. Oh, that is so nice.
It's a pretty solid beard, guys.
Yes.
And she's like stroking it.
Oh, this is so nice.
Get your free beer, guys.
Dude,
Y'all are awesome.
Totally, get some beer.
It is totally a party in here today,
get a little smidge. See what you think.
So we are with Gavin from Three Nations Brewing. How are you?
Corey, I'm well. How are you?
Doing A-okay. I see y'all brought in some beers. So I guess let's do
beers going on.
I mean, we got a lot of beer, guys, because it's Free Beer Friday. So I guess we can do formal introductions. I'm Corey Spencer.
Gavin Secchi.
Ben Easley.
All right. So
cheers.
Why the name?
Three Nations Bearded Monk.
There you
go.
Boom. You got all the credentials, guys. So, why the name Three Nations?
Well, to be honest, it's somewhat of an ode to my brewing travels, I guess. I was fortunate enough to work with some good breweries that do really good European-style beers. There you go. I can hear myself better. And, it was one of those things where it's kind of like my dad always said, get a little bit of good out of everywhere you go, and then if you're going to do your own thing, then, put that into your life work. And that's kind of what we've done with Three Nations. Lucky enough to work under different German brewmasters and also some of the bigger breweries out there that have really made their name over the last 20 years and taught me the English and the Belgian styles. And really the German influence comes from some of these German brewmasters I've worked with, and they're just smart, awesome, righteous people, really. So, yeah.
Well, you've been all over the freaking area.
I know,
tried. Lucky enough that they didn't kick me out, I guess.
Good. You're welcome back in Germany.
Yeah, that's good. No,
nice.
I've tried my best.
So, I guess what's...
Oh, JP gave you a shout out.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what, I guess, how does being able to travel and get that kind of inspiration and also that kind of knowledge, how does that set you apart in your brewery apart from others?
Well, okay, let's put it this way. Let's rewind, let's say, 30, 40 years ago. There was not an American-style IPA, right? There was just an IPA because all the IPAs came from England. I don't know who the first one was. Let's call it, Sierra Nevada is kind of one of the benchmark guys that started it. They started the American-style IPA, right? And so what craft beer is to me, there's probably a whole loaded definition of what craft beer is, but a lot of it is doing European styles with American influence, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of, my original game plan was to do straight-up European-style beers. Mm-hmm. Long story short, several things happened, and I fell in love with American hops. I fell in love with aromas. I fell in love with things that are a little bit, more way off the traditional cuff from for the European-style beers. And so, that's kind of our theme. It's our tagline. We're, Three Nations is... People will probably see it and they think, oh, what Three Nations are we talking about? And we always say Germany, Belgium, England. They look at our beers and they're like, wait a minute. So you've got a German pale ale, but it smells like an American IPA and drinks like an American pale ale. Well, it's like the American influence is huge. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of our theme, so to speak. Is there some marketing involved? There's no doubt about it. But at this point, we're in 2017.
Gotta have it.
And you need something to differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of our theme, our tagline, and we stick to it.
So what's coming up for Three Nations in 2017?
Oh, gosh, this might be a long story. You ready for it?
That's all we have here is long stories. That's what we love.
So you're going to think I'm nuts telling this whole story, but this is going to be repeated on April 28th when we have a release party for our next beer. So,
what? Y'all heard that?
Right? The next beer we're coming out with is called Over the Top Imperial Saison. It's an ode to the Sylvester Stallone arm wrestling movie from 1987. And I'll tell you how we got there.
I feel like this is the interesting part.
Long story short, I'm going to say long story short, but it might not be that short. We entered to the 2016 Cowboys season, and we didn't have high expectations for the team. We used to go to my friend's bar and watch it, and all of a sudden we start 0-1. We're like, okay, here we go. Romo's out, that kind of thing. And then after about, I want to say it was week 5, we're 4-1. We're like, holy crap, what's going on here? And so we're all excited, we're Sunday at my buddy's bar drinking Texas Gold and GPA and some American Wit, and all of a sudden this arm wrestling contest starts. Like, it just breaks out. We don't know why. Like, someone just started one. It was funny.
Somebody started trash talking.
Someone started trash talking, and then maybe it was I don't even remember, a Giants fan that was talking. No. I think it was a Redskins fan or something. It was like, all right,
Dad.
We just beat you, so let's just arm wrestle over this. And this whole hilarious thing started with us. And so anyhow, it goes from there. And then instead of our Thanksgiving between me and my 8 friends, we did a Brosgiving.
That's awesome.
And a Brosgiving means, go to the brewery and, of course, watch the over-the-top movie because we had this arm wrestling thing and it started to become funny and blah, 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 and what have you. So we do this Brosgiving. We watch the movie, and all of a sudden, what do you know? Another arm wrestling contest breaks out. So it's starting to become a theme, right?
Clearly.
So after that whole thing, we had taken photos that night, and one of my buddies throws up one of those, I don't know, I guess he adds to the photo. It's not quite a meme. I'm not very tech savvy here, but he adds the straight out of Farmer's Branch, tag on the photo.
It's getting wild.
And so we start laughing about that, and we're like, okay, this is funny, and it goes a bit further. Mm-hmm. And so one of our friends ends up buying replica hats from the movie. And what happens, it turns out that we did not know what Bonneau meant. Bonneau is the hat that they wear in the movie. Turns out Bonneau is a sunglass company, and guess what? The family lived in Farmer's Branch.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Can't believe it.
Awesome. It just came full circle.
And we found this out from one of our other bar owners here in Dallas that told us that. And so we're like, gosh, we really need to take this somewhere. And so we're thinking, okay, we got some seasonals coming up. Right now we got Mango Smash IPA, which is really doing well for us. It's our kind of fruit IPA and what have you, 6.9% alcohol. Ooh. About just shy of 70 bitterness units. Repeatable, easy drinking beer.
Super easy.
Come to the Bearded Monk afterwards. Are you ready for those? And so the next one, we're kind of thinking, well, let's do this Imperial Saison, and what are we going to call it? And so all of our buddies at a distributor are like,
come drink.
Come drink.
We got free beer.
Yeah.
The name Over the Top gets thrown around because this whole obsession of this whole hilarious arm wrestling match that that came out was what we decided to go with. And so the Over the Top Imperial Saison will be released the end of April. And we actually have a private showing of the movie with one of our theater partners back in Dallas.
That is awesome.
We're pretty excited about that.
This is the coolest beer release ever.
It's just got.
I say we do an arm wrestling party.
Yes!
Well, and
Whoa,
that's the
do
thing.
a whole tournament.
We've discussed this.
You can
we
do
can do a
brackets.
tournament.
Whoa.
What?
And then the winner gets a free beer, like a little case of beer. Whoa.
No, it'll be more than that.
Game
The
changer.
winner gets
you got big old arms.
something awesome.
You
But we've thrown this around for
Try
sure.
to make it happen.
And it's kind of a big joke. But yeah, we could do that. I mean, I'm fine with that.
That would be so solid.
That'd be hilarious.
So that's it for the next seasonal coming out, and then summertime we're looking for the prickly. We're waiting to come out with the prickly pear goza. So I guess Seen Fruit Goza's out there, and then we're kind of like, let's just do something that I haven't quite seen. I know there's been prickly pear beers out there, so looking forward to that. And then we're right back into Oktoberfest, and then the Imperial Milk Stout, Texas Xmas Ale. So. We're not trying to do 20 to 25 beers this year. We're kind of letting the core drive the volume. Our whole theme is let's stay big on aroma. Let's let our aroma capture our audience, because it's kind of like what we call the first impression. I compare it to when you go to your friend's house and they're cooking dinner, and you walk in the door, you're like, oh man, it smells so good. What does that do? It makes you hungry. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what we do with our beers. Hopefully the smell makes you thirsty, and then you enjoy the flavors very similar to aroma with our beers. So that's kind of what we do. Probably a little bit different from some other breweries out there, or I'd say most of the breweries out there. Ours are kind of like session worthy. GPA, if you've had it before, that's kind of what we call our I suppose street cred beer.
Street cred.
It kind of is. It's not quite an IPA, and it's not quite a pale ale. It's somewhere in between. We've lucked out with that beer because the aroma is really, really heavy as far as IPA goes. It really hits the aromatics for an IPA. But then you drink it and you're like, well, it's not as bitter as it smells. And so we kind of go out and do these retail demos and things like that. And, a lot of the female audience is like, I don't like bitter beers. I don't like IPAs. And I was like, look, just give this one a try before you dismiss it. And gosh, I don't want to say 9 times out of 10, but, if they're going to buy a 6-pack, I'd say maybe 6 out of 10 times they buy the GPA over the Texas Gold or the American Wit.
Wow.
The less bitter of the two, of the other three. So, it's interesting, so that's kind of what we call a street cred beer. And then, if you're looking for something that's going to hit the wheat beer drinkers, American Wit's kind of our go-to. We do kind of throw the kitchen sink into that one, but not really alcohol-wise. So, we're using 4 types of citrus peel. We're using coriander, a lot of coriander with that. We use a really bubblegum aromatic and flavorful yeast. So it's a little bit more going on than the normal traditional wheat beers. And then if you want something that's really like for your Miller Lite drinkers, your granddad's going to drink it, but also your craft beer geeks are going to appreciate it, Texas Gold. I mean, it drinks easy. It's got the tangerine notes because we do throw tangerine peeling in when we brew it. And then we also kind of use special delicate German hops that give it that kind of that melon and cantaloupe essence, which is kind of, it sounds weird, but it's actually really, really refreshing. So that's kind of our shtick. Coming on right now, we just discussed earlier, is the Mango Smash IPA. That's probably going to be, that one's planned for cans for the beginning of May. A little bit higher ABV, but higher ABV alcohol beers does not mean they can't be repeatable, and that's what we've done with this one. It's 7% alcohol. It's not 110 bitterness units like some other IPAs out there. It's kind of like, okay, this one doesn't linger on the tongue. It's not going to wreck my palate or anything like that.
It's a beautiful balance.
Yeah, it's balanced pretty well, and it's just kind of like, okay, I could drink a second one of these. It's a sneaky 7% alcohol, as we say. So, and then that's kind of our beers in a nutshell. Happy to be here. I actually personally call on the city of Denton. We love you guys, by the way. I wish there's more people to wave to, but hey, waving at you. Great community. Didn't know a whole lot about Denton until we came out here, or I came out here personally, started selling beer for us, and it's been awesome. I mean, it's amazing. Like, you don't see this kind of electricity and energy in like downtown square on a Friday night, and it's just it's anywhere from your high school kids to your moms and your grandparents. It's really cool because it's like a big mix of people here. And gosh, you want to talk about supportive of craft here in Denton?
Yes,
I am all over this place. I'm trying to make trips here twice a week because these guys support us so much.
Right on.
Obviously, Ben's been a huge supporter of us at the Bearded Monk, and then we've got Austin next door at LSA, and then also Kelby over at at Barley and Board, and there's so many other people that I want to mention. Obviously, Alex at Harvest House, and so it's cool. It's really, really cool. I didn't know a whole lot about this town until we started selling beer here probably about 6 weeks ago, and I just can't wait to come and plan my week around Denton. It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's like, if you want to go and call upon, 200-300 accounts in a different part of town, that's cool, but it's like, shoot, the success rate here is great because people appreciate craft beer and they want something new and they want something that's good. You know what I mean? And it really gives us a chance to, in Stallone style, flex our muscles, so to speak.
There you go.
Sorry, I keep going back to that theme, but I love it. It's awesome.
I love it.
So Ben, do y'all have any questions over there?
I don't think so. You talked about everything we've been talking about.
Yeah. So I guess, Ben, we met let's call it 18 months ago, I think. Because you came to the brewery, you said you were opening up the Bearded Monk.
Yeah.
It was that long ago, I remember.
Yeah, I rolled in and we sat around the brewery and hung out.
And talked a little bit.
Yeah.
And
in the office, had some beers.
Yeah.
Solid.
Had some beers, and it was kind of like, we were in an infancy at that point. Like, I hardly know what's going on now. Back then, I was just like, holy God, what's going on? I mean, we're 2 months in at that point, so.
Oh, it was already awesome. The warehouse is superb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's this wall of kegs. It was,
yeah.
Here's the tap wall over here. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit. So, but I want to find out, like, Ben, your whole trip from starting a business to where you are now. And gosh, man, you walk into a place and you can't find another bar where people are kind of standing around the side and all hanging out. It's almost like, somewhat reminds me of like the movie Clerks. You know what I mean? It's like, hang out by the C-store, but it's a much cooler, nicer C-store, if you will. And there's not two people there. There's 25 out there just hanging out. Like, that's what I'm talking about, Denton community. I haven't seen anything like this before. It's really cool. It's almost like, when I was in the college and at the dorm, everyone would hang out and, like, smoke their cigarettes or whatever outside. But it's like, this is the adult version of that. You know what I mean? It's so cool.
With craft beer.
Yeah, with craft beer.
Yes.
It just fascinates me, It's cool. So
no, this has been such a wonderful town. Yeah. And that's why we did this where we did. Mm-hmm. It's just a great town to do it in.
Honestly, it wouldn't work everywhere, but gosh, you found the right place to do it. You know what I mean?
What a superb spot, right?
What a superb spot.
We've got Eastside, Oak Street, Harvest House, Midway Craft House, Mellow Mushroom, Barley and Board.
I love
It's
Mellow
like we've got so many awesome spots down here on the square.
And you can hang out anywhere.
Exactly.
At some point in time, something's open for you to go hang out.
And here we are. Walk around the square. If you're not here now, we should all look at this. If you're not here now,
if you're not here, guys,
y'all need to be down here now. There are folks just walking by, hanging out at these spots.
Free Beer Friday, guys.
For Free Beer Friday.
Let's still promote
Free Beer Friday.
Free
right?
beer.
It's awesome.
Come on, this is
Friday.
Great. Come down here and play.
FBF.
Yeah.
Well, it's been nice having y'all on. We're going to go back to serving that free beer for Free Beer Friday. But be sure to come on down to the Welcome Center, guys. We are still hanging out till about 9:30. And then head over to the Bearded Monk for the after party.
Whoa.
Can I throw one more in there? JP, you asked me for it. So big shout out to the Turning Point beer guys. Gotta say hello. We talked with them the other day. Those guys are doing some good stuff. So
they're doing superb stuff.
Really
That's
good
right.
stuff.
Yep.
Very impressed.
Yeah.
So.
Superbs.
Alrighty, bye, y'all.